How's it guys, Munash here, and today we have the first war of season 33 up against Matrix, and we have a pretty standard war I guess. We're running a full path 5 with 2 shared fights, and then a Peni mini boss along with a rank 4 Nimrod boss. So I'm running Guardian and Tigra as I often do, along with Magneto because we have a few middle champs, and a knockdown Korg to take care of. I was actually going to bring the rank 4 Doom initially for that, but I just needed Magneto more for Peni, which still turned out to be a little bit sketchy in the end, but we'll get to that a bit later. So first up we have Chavez with Ebb and Flow knockdown and right back at it, a fight that I've taken several times, usually with Guardian, but today I was actually considering using Hercules for it since I now have a rank 3, Sig 20. Just used the romance gem on him, and I actually did that a while ago, but I haven't made any videos with him yet. So before I finalized my team, I thought I would bring Herc. In fact, my initial team was Guardian, Doom, and Tigra. But then I also had to take a shared Warlock, and I thought Doom might not be the best for it. So then the team changed to Hercules, Doom, and Tigra. So Hercules would just take Warlock and the Guardian fights. But then finally we had every fight covered except for Peni on node 55, and I thought, maybe Magneto would be better than Hercules for that. Plus it would also work well for Warlock, so I wouldn't need to bring Hercules anymore. So I could go back to running Guardian, who at least also has some useful synergy. Plus I just feel like it's harder for me to die with him, which is ironic considering Herc's Sig ability. So yeah, that was just my thought process for team selection. But yeah, that's enough backstory for the prep for this war, and now we're actually getting into this fight. I've built up my charges with 2 special 1s, so I'm getting ready for the special 2. And I need to make sure I knock her down first so I don't hit through protection. Although I probably could have still killed her through the protection, because I always like to go a bit overboard with the ramp up for these ebb and flow fights with Guardian. The way her health just dropped from 60% to 2%, it's just ridiculous, so satisfying. So I probably didn't need to knock her down there or use 2 special 1s for charges, but I do like to play it a little bit safe in case I get some bad crit RNG and I see no red numbers. And I didn't have the shock debuff due to immunity. You can get it if you time your special 2 right between the right back at it timer and protection coming back, but the window isn't that big, so if you're not playing aggressive enough you might lose some charges. So second fight is this knockdown Korg where we're using Magneto, and he also has heavy hitter, so I can't just punish his heavy attack very easily. I haven't really checked the timing, so I'm not sure if it's even safe to do so, but it's no issue at all because Korg is just one of those champs who I'm very familiar with. I've fought him hundreds of times, so I can just identify his second medium or fourth light attack and punish those. And once he has at least 1 bar of power, I can just bait specials and punish to remove the rock shield. Now because he has max limber, I can't just parry and hold the heavy attack to duplicate my prowesses, so I do try the heavy whiff a few times until I eventually get punished. Then throw the special 3 with 13 prowesses, which is not bad I guess. I would have liked more, but it should still do a decent amount. And I used some class boost, so I got a bar and a half of power back. So then getting to a special 2 did not take much time, and then I could just drop that. And I did Dex just before, which might not have been the safest thing to do because he was unstoppable. So if my special 2 did not do more than 48,000 damage, I could have gotten smacked there. So yeah, that was just me forgetting about that little ability that Korg has. So next up we have Hulkbuster on node 25, Crumbling armor, Force of Will, Footloose, and Kinetic Transference. So my initial plan for this fight was Doom because I thought he's safer than Tigra, especially at rank 4, but still it's a good matchup for her. Hulkbuster's specials are pretty easy to heavy punish with Tigra, and of course she counters Footloose and the tactic. Here I was going for the heavy punish, but I dodged the special 1 a little bit late, so I cancelled the heavy into a special 2 just to be safe. And then here I made the tiniest of errors where I let him gain an armor buff because I was hoping to throw a special 1 quickly enough, but he didn't. So I dropped my special 1 because I also don't want my senses to expire. However, I did not apply a neutralize because he had 1 armor buff. I had 25% reduced ability accuracy because of that, and it prevented my neutralize, which made my 1 sense expire. And the biggest thing is he gained the buffs from Footloose, so I was gonna punish it until I realized that, oh no, those are buffs that I cannot do anything about right now. So I just carried on holding my heavy attack like an idiot, although I wasn't sure if I should release it or not. I was hoping it'd be a little bit more passive and not punish me too hard until I could gain back control of the fight. So yeah, just the fact that he had that 1 armor buff creep in just messed up the flow of my fight. And in that moment I didn't realize I failed to apply a neutralize, so yeah, I gotta watch out for that. So now in section 2, still on part 5, we have an Ebb and Flow Intercept Void. I would like to think I've done this fight with Guardian before, but I'm not entirely sure. If I have, it might have just been once during off season, but I have taken it with Nick Fury and with Falcon a couple of times. So I generally like Guardian for intercept fights because the game plan is pretty simple. I mean, all you have to do is intercept once, and that is just before you throw the special 2. I did get one intercept here, which I wasn't even trying to, it's just something I do out of habit. I drop a special 1 while they're in the corner, and if they don't have a bar of power, I just dash in at the right time. Didn't even consider that would count as an intercept, but anyway, now we have the special 2 ready. But he has close to 2 bars of power, which is a bit annoying, so I want to bait a special attack before I intercept. But then I thought, well, he's already at 60% and I have 8 charges, so let's just go for it with protection. And the results were not bad. I mean, got him down to 5%, so he's almost down now. Just gotta keep smacking him and eventually he'll go down with the special 1. So not bad at all, and now we're gonna move on to the second intercept fight, which is gonna be Wags, and he also has Mighty Charge. So a pretty good matchup for Tigra. Just gotta make sure I heal her up with these magical potions that we can no longer get. I'm really gonna miss buying these things with Glory, they've been such a good use for the resource. But anyway, I got a pretty early intercept in this fight, which is nice to do a little bit more damage from the get-go. However, that was the only time I removed the protection, so there were no more intercepts after that. So quite similar to the previous fight, I did most of it with the 40% damage reduction, which is not a really big deal for these champs. I mean, pretty stacked Guardian and Tigra, they just shred through these fights. So now my charges are about to expire. Man, I still need to get a Sig up. Like, I can't believe I'm still running a Sig 100 Tigra at this level. I mean, I use her way too much now, and I see all these other guys with their Sig 200s, and I'm like, damn, those senses just seem to last forever. So I might just give her more generic stones that I was saving for Hercules or my next rank 4 mutant if it's not Professor X. But as you can see, even with the protection, those special 2 still do a lot of damage. So I fought both Magneto several times with Tigra and War. I generally prefer dealing with Magneto's special 1 or Wags' special 2. But I'll still go for the heavy punish on Wags' special 1 if I have at least 1 bar of power ready. Just in case he doesn't throw it, I can still avoid getting punished by using my special 1. Alright, so now we have Warlock with Ebb and Flow Intercept, Crumbling Armor, and Mighty Charge. Pretty simple fight with Magneto. The Wags pre-fight is just for extra attack since Max doesn't actually qualify for the passive stun. And just to make it even safer or easier, I also removed willpower, so if I do get a shock or armor break on me, at least I won't get power drained, so getting to that special 3 should not take long. Although I do still need to parry heavy towards it. And what is interesting here is I got an intercept with the heavy attack, which is actually fairly safe to do because at least you have the unstoppable to avoid getting comboed. And I am dropping full combos just to get to that special 3 a bit faster. Also just makes it easier to bait special 2. Then I'll parry heavy more so I get closer to 3 bars. Special 3 should do more than enough with this amount of prowesses. And I didn't have to worry about protection coming back thanks to AA reduction. So again, pretty simple fight with Magneto, and now we get to section 3 mini-bosses, and this is where the fights get a little bit more sketchy. And it's mostly my fault, like probably 95% my fault. I just was not quite on point at this stage of the war. Mistakes were definitely made, I had a few slip-ups. Could some of it have been avoided if it weren't for input issues? Maybe. Could the AI have been better in some situations? Maybe. But overall it was just me for the most part. I even forgot to change my masteries for the boss. Because after putting back willpower, I swapped out Mystic Dispersion for Max Pacify for Peni Parker. And just completely forgot about that, and I didn't even realize it until towards the end of the fight when I started wondering why is it taking so long, you know, why does it feel kind of boring, and until I noticed I wasn't gaining power when his buffs expired, I was like, oh crap, I forgot to activate Dispersion again. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Right now we are still dealing with this Peni Parker with Magneto. And the strategy is very simple as usual with Magneto, just parry heavy until you get to the special 3. However, with Brute Force and her annoying special attacks and of course the auto block with Power Burn, it's a bit of an annoying one. It was going pretty well until this point. I started to take some annoying Brute Force damage, And maybe I should have just dropped some basic hits, you know, a simple light attack, instead of the parry heavy just to deal with brute force a bit faster, because you can take a lot of damage in just a few seconds with class disadvantage. And I got hit while trying to dex part of the special 1, I don't know if that's just input lag or, you know, you just can't do that very successfully. And I did use invulnerability to take less damage in case I get hit, but I'm not sure that's actually the best move here, because with an advanced power boost I would have gotten to 3 bars a lot faster. In fact, I only got hit after getting to 2 bars in this fight. So I would have had to bait less special attacks and take less brute force damage at very least. I was also wondering if it's better to push to special 2 and just bait that, because at least it's less special attacks to bait, so less chance of brute force triggering. But you do need to be a bit quick to fully dex that one, otherwise it's just safer to block it. And I took some unnecessary damage towards the end before my special 3, but I wasn't really worried at that stage because I had my prowesses ready and almost 3 bars, just had to block a few more hits before I could actually throw it. So now finally we have the Nimrod boss, a fight I've done twice with Tigra, once with the tactic and once without. I actually showed the most recent one in the previous video when I was talking about the whole loyalty situation. But this is the first time I'm seeing him as a rank 4 on defense, so I just thought probably just take a little bit longer than usual. But nah, it took a lot longer than usual because I just played like absolute dog poop in this fight. I even got hit by his special 1. More than once, and not even by that tail end that can clip you fairly easily if you don't dex it properly. But one of the first hits, the ones that are actually very easy to avoid, I don't know why I rushed into that third hit. I think I just momentarily forgot the proper timing. And I did have invulnerability to avoid most of the damage, but that last hit was a crit, so that was a bit annoying. And at this point you can start to see how not having dispersion can make this fight take a lot longer. Whenever I launch a special while he's in Blitz protocol, I get a power drain on me, and if I don't have the Hunter sense I don't gain power from missed hits. And if my senses fall off, he will likely gain some armor buffs from being too passive, which would have been okay if I actually had dispersion for when they expire. And Tigra isn't really a mystic who relies on dispersion, although that's more true for a high sig Tigra, because if I don't have the Hunter sense I don't gain power from missed hits as well. I got clipped by that stupid special 1 again, and I can't even remember what happened in this situation. I don't know if I was trying to re-parry, if I had a dropped input, like it's actually a blur to me right now. I really don't know why I would release my block in that situation, but anyway, we are about halfway through the fight in terms of fight time at least, and we haven't dropped a single special 2. But I think I am about to drop the first one, and then the fight should go a little bit better. I get a good amount of power back from the special 2, but unfortunately my Hunter sense expires again, and I'm just gonna Sig her up. Like, I don't even care about, you know, saving for her prestige or whatever at this point, because this is just not optimal. I could really use a high sig Tigra a lot more than a high sig Hercules right now. At least I had the primal sense for damage, but I don't get any power back from that special 2, so the fight's gonna drag on for a little bit longer. He has about 20% health left, the fight is looking really good now, yet I still somehow managed to drop to his level. Some really unfortunate dashback timing allows him to clip me and drop a combo, taking me down to 18% health. If any of those hits were crits, I could have died very easily in this fight. Fortunately, I have that 6-star adrenaline and these debuffs are feeding my willpower, but I gotta say this has to be one of my worst boss solos ever. Obviously not having dispersion didn't help, but my execution was just not good today. I've died to bosses while playing much better than this, so yeah, luckily this was not the first death of the season and we did end up winning this war. I think it ended 9-4, so overall pretty happy with the results, but I got some things to work on. I should be better for the next war against GT40 today. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Hope you guys found this interesting, and as always, thank you for watching, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.